Kaylyn. Today is a follow-up video to my previous video where I just gave you basic decorating tips on how to decorate a space and just make things look good. And today I wanted to dive into how to save money when decorating your space, because furniture and all those things can be so expensive. I mean, you could spend thousands of dollars on a couch if you wanted to, and that is not the budget that we have. That is not what we have done in our home. But I think that our home looks super homey and I love how it's come together, and I just have so many tips to share with you in this regard. So I hope that you stay tuned and keep on watching so that you can learn how to spruce up your home on a budget. Alright, my first tip, I did talk about this a bit in my last video, but that is to have a specific plan. I'm so guilty of this. Have you ever just been out and about walking around or shopping and you find something that just catches your eye, or maybe it's on sale and you just buy it, but it really doesn't have a place in your home? Do not do that. Do not waste your money doing that. You could buy so many things that don't actually serve a great purpose and aren't the best things for your house. So it's so important to have a plan, and that's why doing Pinterest research and that sort of thing is really important, to have a vision for the space that you want to create before you go to the store. Sometimes it's good to go to the store to get inspiration, but why do that when you can be online, just on Pinterest, not tempted to buy anything, and really kind of figure out how to best use your space. Know what kind of furniture you want in your room, the size you need it to be, the color, the style. I really suggest trying to figure out everything down to a T. I mean, not totally to a T, but have a good idea of what you want, because the worst thing is to buy things that don't really have a home, especially if you're trying to save money. You really want to know what you're purchasing and know that it is worth your money to begin with. Don't just pick up things on clearance or because you think they're cute. If you do not know exactly where it's gonna go, just say no. I know the struggle, but just say no. Okay, after you have a vision of what you want, look at what you have. Look critically at every piece you have. Every piece of furniture, every little decor thing, because so many times we live with things for so long, or things just kind of accumulate and they collect clutter, or they just don't really serve a great purpose. So I want you to look at these things and decide if you can just get rid of them altogether. And again, we're talking about trying to save money, so I would suggest trying to sell them on Craigslist or on Facebook Marketplace or something like that. Or can you give new life to these things? And even consider, can you move things from one room to another room? Figure out if things that you have in your living room could work in your bedroom or your office or your garage. Just try and think about how you can repurpose things in your space. Maybe you have a cube shelf in your living room that is just collecting clutter and you have not figured out a good way for it to work in your living room, but maybe that would be perfect in your garage to hold, you know, sports supplies or whatever. You get my point. Just figure out how you can move things around in your house, and along with that, compare what you have to the different items that maybe are on your wish list of things that you like, and see if you can take what you have and make it into that. I feel like white is a very popular color these days, and for good reason. It really helps to lighten up a space, especially if it's smaller. So I feel like white furniture is really popular, and just lighter, brighter things. And I'm definitely a fan of that, because especially if you have a small place, which we do. We have a big dresser, for instance, in our living room, which I'll show you. I love that it's white because it kind of blends into the wall, and it's not like this big heavy piece of furniture. There's nothing wrong with dark furniture or whatever, but especially in a small space, sometimes it just makes it feel a lot more cluttered. So my point is, just a coat of paint can really make a big difference and really help to make something you already have pop or look better. I find that brighter colors can be really fun too, and can transform something that's kind of boring into a more statement piece. Another thing that you can do as well is add new hardware to something you have. This is one of my favorite things to do, because you can get knobs. I like to get them from World Market because they're pretty cheap there. And they have so many fun ones, but you can get different knobs for your dressers or things like that, just to kind of add more personality to what you already have. Also, maybe you just want to switch out the legs on your coffee table. The hairpin legs are really popular right now, the mid-century kind of modern look. I actually DIY'd the coffee table we have now from a Craigslist find. I got a Craigslist table, and then I purchased the hairpin legs online, and then I totally spent a lot of hours gluing twine on the top, mostly because I'm crazy and I enjoy things like that, and it sounded fun, and I love spending time making something beautiful like that. So that is just one idea for you. But also think about how you can rearrange furniture in the room you have. Maybe things aren't working out well because the balance is just totally off. And so many times it can be really surprising how the feeling of a room transforms just by moving some furniture around, moving your couch from one wall to the other, or just one or two decor items that you really love can really help to brighten up or modernize or freshen up your space that you're living in. It really doesn't have to be a complete overhaul of everything in your house. Just a few little touches of things that you love can really make a space feel amazing. This is one I'm a big fan of. We have moved 3 times in the last 3 years, pregnant and with a toddler, mind you. But whether you're moving or you're just kind of redoing things in your house, sell the things that you don't love or you don't want in your new space or your current space, and use that money to fund purchases for the new things that you want to bring in. This is something that I always do. Moving from our last place to here, there were different pieces that we could have thrown in here and cluttered up our space, but if they did not work perfectly in here, or if they really didn't serve a purpose and we'd just be keeping them to keep them, we sold them before we moved, and then we had that money to buy a few new things that we did need in this home, and that money that we got from selling those few things funded almost everything that we did need to purchase for this space. Just because, you know, closet spaces are different, room sizes are different, storage is different, things like that, and your needs change. I also listed a bunch of clothes that I took out of my wardrobe on eBay, and I've gotten money through that as well. My husband listed some extra electronic stuff that he had, so we've gotten money from that as well that we've used to buy some different things that we've needed for this house. Okay, I think this is the most obvious one, but buy used. I'm like a Craigslist queen, if I may say so myself. I have gotten the best deals on Craigslist. The trick is you have to check consistently, because Craigslist is something that you need to pounce on those things quickly or they will just go. So, you know, email them quickly or text them or call them and let them know you're really interested, and follow through if you're actually interested. Along with that, I wait until I find something that I really love, because there's no sense in buying something that you kind of love. So honestly, guys, I would wait weeks and weeks and weeks for the price and the actual item to align, where it was something super cute and something that I really liked and a really good deal. And I call myself the Craigslist queen. I don't really call myself that, I just am right now. But I have resold through our moves and whatnot so many things that we got on Craigslist, and I have never sold it for less than what I bought it for, because I know when something is a good deal, and I don't overpay for anything on Craigslist. So there have been so many things I bought on Craigslist and eventually sold for even a little bit more than what I bought them for. Along with Craigslist, I definitely recommend looking at thrift stores and secondhand shops in your area, consignment stores, even though those tend to be a lot more. And then also Facebook Marketplace. Those are all places that I love to get things for my home from, because it's such a good value and things are so overpriced at the store. I'm so thrifty. I love just secondhand stuff and going to the thrift store and saving money. I have had to learn though that just because you like something doesn't mean you should buy it. So I have had to balance myself out from that, but I feel like I'm in a really good place right now. And I actually am at that point where I will spend $25 on a pillow that I really like. I never would have done that before. I would have just bought the ones on sale. But if your home is small like ours and you're trying to live a more minimal life, it is nice to have things that you actually love, and I'd rather have one pillow that I love than two that were just on clearance and I kind of like, you know what I mean? So really, whether you're buying used or new, whatever you can afford, just try and hold out for the things that you love. Because if it's a rug, you're going to be vacuuming up every single day, and these things that you're going to be engaging with and interacting with and living around all the time. Don't just buy stuff because it's cheap, and don't just pick things up off the curb because they're free, you know what I mean? Be thoughtful about the things that you bring into your home. Some of the websites that I love for home purchases include Overstock.com, Wayfair.com, and I would say Amazon. I feel like, I guess some Target. I feel like Target's kind of expensive for me. But with Wayfair and Overstock, if you sign up and give them your email, you get a coupon then. And a lot of times they have good prices. I find if you're looking for a new rug, I'd definitely look at Wayfair and Overstock. They have really beautiful rugs for decent prices. A lot of the plant hangers that I got on Amazon. I just like Amazon for the more specific things you're looking for, like a curtain rod in a certain length. With Amazon has pretty competitive prices. And then in person, I love Marshall's, TJ Maxx, HomeGoods. We don't have all of those near us. Even Ross, I found a super cute plant hanger there for $6.99 the other day, which I loved. But if you're shopping online, I always wait for those promo codes. You can often also use Ebates or Top Cashback or things like that. I tend to not buy a lot of new things personally. I tend to buy mostly used in order to furnish my place because, again, things are so expensive if you buy them new. It's ridiculous. But the few little things that we have bought new have been like the rug, and we bought the little gray ottoman thing I shared with you new. But this recliner that I'm going to be nursing in, we got this used, and it's like $1,000 recliner. It was a little bit over $200, which was a lot for me, but we had a free rocking chair we had with our first baby. It was a glider. It was a Do-Tailor or something, but it was just, for me, it was not comfortable at all, and I just was so uncomfortable. I nursed in bed, like, most of the time, like, slouching in bed. So I knew that I wanted to invest in this, and not only is it where I'm going to be nursing our daughter, but if a guest comes over, they can sit in it too, and it's totally comfortable. So yeah, I would never have paid $1,000 for this new, but it was in perfect shape, and while $200 isn't the cheapest, it's really nice quality. And the other one that we're looking on Amazon that was kind of modern and nice like this and had decent reviews, I think it was $260 or something like that, which was more than this one, and it was just really cheap quality. So we decided to go used and get something nicer used. So that's kind of just how we did that. I also want to touch on DIY. I love to DIY things. I just am a very hands-on, crafty person, and I just love making things. I love to paint. I've painted a lot of the things that we have in our house, and I love doing projects like that. But if I'm honest with myself, so many times, not always, but sometimes you can easily spend as much on the supplies as you would on something similar new. So if you're thinking about a certain DIY project, really write out the prices and figure out how much it's actually going to cost you, and if it would be worth all those supplies and your time to do it yourself, or you should just, you know, buy it new with a coupon code or something like that. For instance, this white dresser that we have in our living room, that I got before my first daughter. I still remember we got it at Goodwill for $60. It's a solid wood dresser. It's really nice. And then I got new handles for the top of it, and then primer, paint, sandpaper, and all of that. So I think, but that was probably about $100. So I'm sure I saved some money, because that would easily cost, I would say, $200, $250 new, and it was a lot of work, but you have to be practical the way you look at things. I also have a mirror in our living room that was my grandma's, and it was kind of this old gold finish, but I wanted to paint it white to brighten it up. That was easy because the mirror was free. The paint I probably had from the dresser, so of course that DIY would be worth it if you already have some of the supplies at home. Just try and be honest with yourself about how much things are going to cost if you're going to DIY them. Okay, so that was just a jumble of the different ideas I have about saving money and just the things that I practically do to save money. I hope that they helped you. Let me know if they did. If you have any other tips as well about how to save money furnishing a space and making a space more homey, I would absolutely love to know it. So let us all know down in the comments, and if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. I love you so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!